Well, it's time for the first game of the season, and, well, as transfer windows go, this could have been better. How you doing, everybody, and welcome to part 2 of the Aston Villa Early Access Save here on FM24. My name is Stu. Thank you for joining me in today's video, where we've got 2 games in the Premier League. The first one is against Newcastle, and the second one is against Burnley. And if you're excited to see how we get on in both of those games, do not forget to leave a like on the video for me and to subscribe so you don't miss any of the nonsense that comes out of this face right here. Since you were last with us, well, we've had a transfer window, or most of one, and it's gone horribly. If I'm being completely honest, we haven't sold a single player. It's been really hard going trying to shift players out of this squad. Now, we have brought a couple of players in, those players being Jordan Latomba, a fullback from Nice in France, who has come in on loan, and he'll do a job. He's 2.5-star current and potential ability. He's not going to be spectacular for us, but he'll fill a gap in the squad which we had, which was right back. And then I also signed Paulo Fornals as a midfielder. He can play in central midfield, attacking midfield. He's got decent tackling. His marking's not too bad. He'll do a job for us, apart from one thing. Immediately injured. He's only got a couple more weeks to go, but he has missed almost all of pre-season. I mean, so disappointing. But we have not been able to sell Leon Bailey. We've not been able to sell Dendoncker. Callum Chambers is still here. Most of them are wanted and have had offers, but trying to counter-offer has been a real challenge. So we're left in this kind of no man's land where we've had no money to spend. We're actually negative wage budget at the moment, so we need to do something about it. And yet, I mean, there you go. I mean, I've been trying to use the intermediaries. They have worked in terms of getting offers in, but the offers have not been to the standard that I was hoping that they would be. So it is what it is. But that is the kind of strongest 11 we can put out. But injury-wise, I mean, we're still pretty decimated. Fornals is out. Traore is out but coming back. Mings is obviously going to be out for the season. Ramsey's out for another 5 weeks. Moreno is out for another potentially 3 months. Buendia is out for the same amount of time as Tyrone Mings. And then Duran and the guy whose name I can never say, Heroic Bunam. Tim's injured as well. But I mean, I've called these two up to give us some squad depth because their injuries aren't as long term. I mean, 3 weeks for you, 4 weeks for you. They'll give us some squad depth. That's the reason why they're there. But I mean, we've also got these two on the kind of secondary bench. Kellyman's up. This Borland guy who, you know, is here. He's 1 star. I mean, he probably shouldn't be there. Let's swap him for Wilson. I mean, we've had to call up a number of players who are just not suitable for this level whatsoever. And it's not ideal in the slightest. Because if we have any issues at all, we are in trouble in terms of personnel. I have been desperately looking for more players to bring in on loan. But the problem is, we could probably bring them in, but then the loan, the wage amounts still won't let me do it. Obviously, we can do transfers that gets into a negative transfer, but I don't really want to do that if I can avoid it because so far I've not been able to sell anyone. Remember, I didn't do any transfer business in the last part of my career on FM24. The last thing I did was buy Jay Leathan, and I bought him on FM23, so that transfer was already done. I didn't have to buy or sell anyone, really. So, yeah, that leaves us in this pickle. But let's get into the pickle, and this is the 11 we're going to be using against Newcastle. Remember, Newcastle thumped Villa on the opening day in real life, so I can kind of understand why maybe if they actually had most of these injuries. I mean, Buendia, Ramsey, Moreno, Mings, they were all out at this point. Duran might have been as well. I don't know if Traore was. I think Traore was at the club because I think he'd been recalled the previous January. So he was about, but I don't know whether he might have been injured because he has been injured since the start of the save. So this is the 11 for the opening game of the Premier League season against Newcastle United. It is Martinez in goal, Cash, Carlos, Torres and Digne in defence, Kamara, Luis, Tielemans and Zaniolo as the diamond in the midfield, with Diaby and Watkins up front. Ollie Watkins, by the way, has just come back from an injury. So, yeah, bear that in mind. Let's give you the number 26 shirt because why not? And Rory Wilson, you're a youngster, have 49. No reason, I just fancy giving it to you. Apparently, Nicola Zaniolo is not happy with playing. I didn't catch the actual thing, but he's not happy with something. I don't really care. I actually didn't get a chance to play a friendly. I kind of realised too late that I hadn't set it over to play the friendly, so that's on me. So we're going in blind here, and well, what could possibly go wrong? What could possibly go wrong? But we kick things off with the settings completely wrong, so let's get these sorted. I'm going to keep it on director, actually. In fact, no, I won't keep it on director. I'll pop it onto TV. We'll speed things up by a couple. Is that too fast? Or is that about the speed we normally have it? That's about the speed we normally have it. We're going to go on key highlights. I mean, we nearly went to goal behind as well. Height and zoom are going to go like that. I'm trying to work out if that's too quick. That feels like it might be a touch too quick. We'll go down one. Right, let's go with that. So, from the looks of things, Newcastle have dominated the early proceedings. Right, Diego Carlos into Matty Cash. Matty Cash now running forward. I mean, whoever that was, I think it was Harvey Barnes, was doing some great covering back. But Diaby now in, looking for Nicola Zaniolo. It's a really, really loose header, and it ends up going just wide of Nick Pope's goal. And it remains 0-0. We need to change that. That needs to become the league table. I am expecting us to get thumped in this game. I am taking the next few games while we have the injuries that we do as whatever comes is whatever comes. It is what it is. I'm sure when we've got a fully fit squad, we will be absolutely able to tear the league up, but we need to get that fully fit squad first. That's the issue. Some lovely passing here by Newcastle. We're forcing Jolinton out wide, but Diego Carlos is there to cut things out into Zaniolo. Now, Zaniolo, I thought it was going to be a poor pass, but he gets it into Diaby. Diaby comes back, running with the ball here. Ollie Watkins is there. If he finds Watkins, it would have been perfect. If he'd have looked up for the pass for Watkins, that would have been sensational. Sadly, he didn't, but it is going to be a corner for us. Lucas Digne now, with our shiny set-piece routines that we've set up, looking for a near-post corner. Can't quite get him on the end of it. And Diego Carlos, I think he was trying to head it back to Lucas Digne. Didn't get it anywhere near right, and it ends up going out. And I'll tell you what, we've played well so far, but Newcastle have had chances. I would say, actually, if you look at the squads, I think these are two teams in real life that are very, very similar. Very similar indeed. I think there's elements of Newcastle and of Aston Villa that really, I think they're the two teams that how do I say this? I think if you're a neutral and you talk about the big clubs that aren't big clubs anymore, these are the two teams you would say would kind of be the ones to take the next step up, and they both have done in different ways. Obviously, Newcastle have their new owners. They've also gone 1-0 ahead. Newcastle have the new owners. Aston Villa have owners that are looking after the club, and they are investing reasonably responsibly. And then you've got Newcastle, who haven't really flashed the cash in anywhere near the amount that people thought they were going to. I mean, Sandro Tonali, I mean, look at that. That is sensational from Sandro Tonali. Oh, God. But yeah, they're both big clubs that are doing well at the moment in real life. And, I mean, they go ahead, which it was coming. I mean, we've had more chances, but the more chances have been off target. Our ability to actually get the ball in a dangerous area hasn't been the problem. It's been finishing that's been the problem. And, yeah, we need to step on the gas a little bit. We need to step on the gas just a little bit, because at the moment they're just playing so much better than we are. I mean, it's one of those things. I said it before and I'll say it again, I'm very accepting of this not being a good result for us. As long as we try, and as long as I can identify where the issues are, because I feel like the main issue is going to be squad depth. If we need to make a substitution, we're going to be in trouble. I mean, the passing is also not the best at the moment. Right, Cash into Douglas Luiz. Douglas Luiz now. Going into Kamara, into Tillemans, out to Zaniolo, waiting for the right moment for a pass, gets it to Diaby into Watkins goes for the shot, and Nick Pope makes the save, but it was actually offside as well. Another good opportunity though, we are getting into the right spaces. Ollie Watkins not having the best game, I have to say. We are playing him as a pressing forward, which is apparently his preferred position. Right, another corner doesn't actually end up going very well. Diaby into Digne gets it into Diaby goes for an absolute wild, he doesn't get it there, but Ollie Watkins opens his account for the season, opens our account for the season, and it is 1-1. I can breathe again, because we have a goal. The biggest concern for me would have been coming out of this game without a goal with the attacking players that we have. I think we've got more than good enough attacking players to trouble most teams. That's really unlucky for Diaby. But Watkins is there for the rebound. Was having a poor game up until that point. He's no longer having a poor game because he's put it in the back of the net. Nice. This game is going really slowly because I haven't done that. Right, half time, 1-1. I'm going to say it was a good performance. It could have been better, but we'll go with that. I'm going to say can do better. I'm going to tell you can do better. And I'm going to make one change to Tielemans. I'm going to make him, not Tielemans, sorry, to Douglas Luiz. I'm going to make him a Mazzala on support because that's actually what he prefers to be. So let's let him do what he wants to do. I feel like that's the right thing to do. And, I mean, we'll leave it at that. I could make some substitutions, but I haven't got many substitutions I could actually make. Right, demand more from the boys. Let's go out and find a winner. That sounds like a great plan to me. Right, can we get a highlight in this up? Newcastle's shots on target have been insane, by the way. 6 shots taken, 5 on target. Sensational. Compared to us, they have been so much more clinical, but it is the main score. The main thing that counts is the score, I suppose, and it is only 1-1. Right, well, we haven't had a highlight in this second half at the moment, so it's substitute o'clock. Our centre-back's not having a good time out there. I am actually going to bring Ezri Konsa on for Diego Carlos, or do I do Torres? I'm going to do Torres and swap them round and put Ezri Konsa there. John McGinn is on the bench. I'm going to bring him on because actually Douglas Luiz hasn't had the best of games. And that's kind of the end of our usable substitutions. We have got 5 we can make. I mean, we've barely got 5 first-team players on the bench, so I'll give it a few more minutes before we decide to make any more changes if we do. Matty Cash has not had a good game today, by the way. I just want to point that out. He's really not had a good game. That, I think, is going to be the final substitution window, and we will take Matty Cash off for Jordan Latomba. We'll give him a chance, and, I mean, Longley and Chambers are really the only 2 first-team players. They're also the only 2 players who are fit enough. And I don't feel like I'm confident enough in them to give them a chance to do anything for us. I'm going to change Tielemans to a supporting advanced playmaker, see whether that makes a difference. Let's get a little bit further forward, but Lokombo can come on at right back. I'm also going to go a little bit bold, and we're going to go attacking for the last few minutes as well. I demand more from the boys. We've actually been on top the majority of the match, but again, our shots on target really have been the issue today. We've had plenty of opportunities, but they've just not been on target. But to be honest, a draw against Newcastle with the injuries that we've got, I'm okay with that. I have no problem at all with that as a result. The defence could have had a better game, I will be honest. But you know what? It is what it is. It is what it is. A draw, that'll do me. That genuinely will do me. I was worried we were going to lose that game, and we didn't. Fair credit to the squad. They're the ones who managed to avoid the loss here today. No one got under a 6.5 as well. I mean, Pau Torres on his debut getting a 6.5 is a bit concerning. Does he prefer to play a pool-playing defender? I mean, I've got him as a central defender at the moment. Maybe we should play him in the position he actually wants to play in. Maybe that's a great idea. What about Diego Carlos? I mean, they both want to be wide centre-backs. Really, I should be using a back 5. I really should be with this Villa team, but I mean, we have got a back 5 set up, which I think I showed you in the first video. And we have got the personnel for it, just we don't have... Well, no, rather, we do have too many central midfielders, really, to make it work. But I suppose if we did... Maybe... I'm just experimenting on the fly here. So these guys are bombing forward into these positions. Maybe. This guy's bombing forward into this position. These guys are going out to here. And these guys are kind of staying where they are. So we end up with this kind of overload. And then defending. These guys are going to come back. These guys are going to come back. That could be worth exploring. But I feel like there's an overexposure here as well. Something to think about. But I'm not going to do it just yet. We're going to stick with a back 4. We're going to stick with what we're going to play with. I am going to make a change, and it's going to be Pau Torres, unfortunately, who's going to come off for the next game. He's the one who had the worst performance, so he will come off. I'm actually going to start John McGinn the next game as well, because it wasn't a great performance for Douglas Luiz, so he will come out. Douglas Luiz will come out for, well, Zaniolo will continue, because he didn't have a great game, but didn't have a bad game either. I've just realised I don't have assists on here, so bear with me. That's better. So, for the next game, which is in 7 days, against Burnley, will we have anyone else fit? Not you. I mean, Courtney Halls doesn't matter if he's not registered. Not you. Not you. No, is the answer to that. We won't. We'll have anyone else extra whatsoever. So, hope you like that 11, because it's going to be that 11 again. We're back for the game against Burnley, and it's almost exactly the same team. We made a couple of changes. One change is Ezri Konsa's in the heart of the defence instead of Pau Torres. Pau Torres will sit this one out because he wasn't very good in the last game, if I'm being honest. And the other one is John McGinn coming in. We'd made that change anyway. However, yet another injury. Douglas Luiz is out, which is really frustrating because, again, it's reducing the options that we have. Now, I have put a transfer offer in, a loan offer, for a particular person. If it'll load. In fact, two players actually. We'll show you two players that I've gone in for. First one is Scott McTominay. And the reason why I've gone in for him is just because he's an all-round midfielder. We'll get him on loan. We only have to pay his wage. I think he would do wonders for us as a squad player. I think he'd do a really, really good job. And then the other one's Andrea Bellotti, just as a backup striker. We desperately need a backup striker. I don't think he's what he once was, but the mental attributes, I think, actually will carry him through. He's actually not scored a single goal for Roma. That can't be right. I mean, look how many goals he scored for Torino. Has he genuinely, in an entire season, not scored a goal for Roma? Well, we're going to get him. Oh, God. This is the 11 for the game against Burnley. It is Martinez in goal, Cash, Konsa, Carlos and Digne in the defence, Kamara, McGinn, Tielemans and Zaniolo in the midfield with Diaby and Watkins as the front two. Deep breath. Let's go. I mean, I consider it a challenge for us to get a goal out of Bellotti now. I absolutely consider it to be a challenge, and I believe that we can absolutely do that. I mean, we'll need to for it to be a worthwhile transfer. Right. Here we go. We actually start from kickoff, which is interesting. That's the second game in a row where we've started from kickoff, and Zaniolo was going for it right there, but we do give the ball away. Nathan Redmond now still going in this Burnley team does give the ball away himself, and Tielemans now running forward into Watkins. Watkins can't get the ball forward. Bit sloppy from ourselves, but John McGinn picks the ball up over to Matty Cash now. Matty Cash gets the ball through. Looking for Diaby. Can't quite find him. And we give the ball away again, but we win it back again. Kamara on a big run. Goes for a worldie. And Muric is worried, but shouldn't really have been because it didn't end up going in the goal, but it did hit the post. So, relatively close. But good start from us. Very good start. Although very sloppy at the same time. But then we are still getting used to things. We've got two players in the attack are new, one player in the midfield who's new, and we had two new central defenders last time. We've got one this time. So these players are going to be getting used to playing with each other. That is worth bearing in mind. Getting the excuses in early. The camera height, I mean, that's way too high. Let's stick with what we've got. Let's see if we can actually get it any lower down than it is, which we can't. If Cork had scored then, I'd have been furious. Right. I'm going to encourage the boys. Come on, lads. Let's get to it. Let's go and get ourselves a goal because we are the better team here. Burnley, of course, getting promoted last season. Kamara heads it out. I'm okay with that. I'm absolutely fine with him heading it out, but I would like us very soon to maybe go and get a goal and go ahead in the game. I thought that was a penalty. I thought that was going to be a penalty. Right, Cork is on his last chance, apparently. That's going to be worth something keeping in mind, I'm sure. Right, well, if we could actually play some good football at some point, lads, that'd be nice. Right, we have a corner. Digne whipping it in, looking for the header. Diego Carlos couldn't find it. Diaby now on the edge of the area, though, goes out wide with it. His natural habitat, of course, is out wide. Once we've got all of our players fit, we'll probably switch to a system out wide. If that had gone in from John McGinn, I'd have been out of this seat. My word, what a chance that is. Right, another corner. Digne looking to whip it in. No, goes short. We have got a short corner instruction set. Digne into Diaby. Diaby goes for the shot. The short corner routine has worked. The flag is currently down. It's an own goal. It's not offside. It's actually worked. The short corner routine has actually paid off. And that is an example of the new set piece maker in effect. That is one of our routines that we've got set to be the least likely to use. And that's the results. Oh, I'm delighted with that. I really am. I mean, I'm gutted because Diaby doesn't have a goal, but I'm delighted that that actually worked. Right, but it's only one goal, and really, Burnley have been in this game far more than I would have liked them to be. Right, Taylor. There's Recon's doing some good defensive work there, but we haven't bossed this game anywhere near like what I would have liked us to. I am actually going to go attacking for these last couple of minutes in the first half because we're a better team than they are. There's no question about that at all. We actually have a last-minute corner before we get to half-time. Digne looking to whip this one in. He will whip this one in. Diego Carlos can't get there. Tielemans tries to strike it in. Digne gets it on the rebound. Whips in. Looking for the far post for Zaniolo. And we get a goal from open play. That isn't an own goal. And it's Nicolo Zaniolo with the header at the far post. And we do lead at the stroke of half-time by 2-0. And Digne has an assist. Lovely. I mean, Tielemans was just hoofing it in there, which was quite interesting. Not a silky smooth from us so far. Although we've got the personnel for it, the diamond is definitely not the way to go for us. If we had more players who could play as wingers on the bench, I would be playing Zaniolo and Diaby out wide, but we just don't have that at the moment. So we have to work with what we've got. But considering that, the fact that we're leading at half-time, it makes me very, very happy. Now, Ollie Watkins didn't play that well in the last game, ended up getting a goal anyway. I'm quite content for him to do the same today, if I'm honest. Right. Second half. Let's go and get a third and just cement this down. I mean, again, it's not been a vintage performance from us. I'm happy with how we've performed. Again, all things considered. Very happy indeed. Because there are players who would be starting and there would be a different system were all of our players fit. It's worth bearing that in mind. I mean, Matty Cash, that's really poor from him. Really, really poor indeed. And I don't really like it. Right, Muric has come very far out. I mean, I kind of wish that Watkins, I'm assuming it was Watkins, maybe would have taken a gamble there. We are pressing them further back though, but I'm worried it will leave us open to a big ball over the top at some point. Right, Roberts. Wasn't a big ball over the top, but it didn't work either. Carlos to McGinn. McGinn into Diaby. Diaby, he has got options with him. He's being forced out wide here. He loses the ball, but Zaniolo is there. And Nicolo Zaniolo, playing from attacking midfield, has got his second of the game. And it is 3-0. Well, I wanted the third and we got it. Turning on the star. McGinn with a pass here. Diaby gets on the end of it. Not the best match intelligence from Diaby. Match intelligence is probably the wrong word, but like positionally, like his intelligence of what's going on around him, his awareness wasn't particularly great there. And he got very, very lucky. He actually gets counted as an assist there. I mean, to me, it looked like he got crowded out of the ball, but what do I know? But it's 3-0, and that is the most important thing. We have, since going attacking, really turned on the style, which is nice to see. Right, we'll let this highlight play out, and then it will go to substitutions. I thought we were going to just go straight out for throwing then. Right, Carlos into Consa. We're really pushing high up here, which I like. McGinn now, out wide to Matty Cash. Matty Cash, who wasn't having a good game, but has picked things up ever so slightly. Good, recycles the ball, whips it in, looking for John McGinn, and Ollie Watkins has his, I was going to say it's his first goal of the season. It's not, it's his second goal of the season. He did score last time. And as I said, not having a great game, doesn't matter. He can still put it in the back of the net, which is nice to see. Zaniolo, I was hoping he'd get on the end of that for a hat-trick, but I'll take that. I'll take that all day long. And we have a fourth. Now, substitutions. Tielemans not had the best of games. Look at what we've got on the bench to play with. I mean, Caden Young is the only person who can apparently come on. And I can't bring myself to do that to the poor lad. Look at how unfit he is at the moment. I mean, I might as well leave Tielemans on. I genuinely might. In fact, I am going to leave Tielemans on. Let's be completely clear about that. Well, I'll bring on Latomba because he's an option. Jeez, this is just hilariously bad. Right, I am actually going to bring Pau Torres on as well, and I'm going to bring him on for Esri Konsa, and we'll swap those two back around, and we'll just give him a good chunk of game, just so he can hopefully get a win, like a win, 3 points under his belt. Hopefully he doesn't make any silly mistakes, and hopefully he gets in a half-decent performance, because that first performance wasn't very good from him. It just was, racing-wise, it really wasn't right. McGinn intercepts, but actually gives the ball away there. It was a bit of a loose touch from him, but we managed to defend it. Diego Carlos whips it in, but actually the clearance doesn't go very far. And here come Burnley, and Jack Cork is through here, goes for the shot. What a shot that is from Jack Cork. The referee might be disallowing it, though. The referee immediately has run over here. And it might get disallowed. It's not been. It's 4-1. But we'll proceed with the tactical change. I'm a bit disappointed with Emi Martinez there, if I'm honest. positionally speaking, I'm a bit disappointed because he was in a great position for it and just let it in. And now Burnley have a way back in. Really, what we need to do is smash them with a 5th goal just to put them back in their place. Because there's a decent chunk of time left. There really is a decent chunk of time left. Tielemans is really not playing well out there. So we need to do something. I think I know what I'm going to do. I think we're going to bring Boubacar Kamara into the main part of the midfield. Swap these two rounds. And we're going to take Tielemans off for Callum Chambers. It's dangerous because Callum Chambers is nearly out the door. We've actually had an offer accepted for him. And if he was to get injured, oh my word, I'd be heartbroken. He better not get injured because I want to get him out of the club. Right. Well, I can't believe I'm saying this when we're 4-1 up. Let's hold on, shall we? Because I've been here before with Football Manager and it's really bit me. Right, Latomba running past his man really well. Gets to Diaby. Diaby turns his man beautifully there. Diaby, is he going to go with options? No, he goes for the goal and he gets his first goal in an Aston Villa shirt in competitive play. First, hopefully, of many. I mean, again, he's playing as a striker at the moment. He won't be there long term. He will be an attacking midfielder. But there is that 5th I wanted. It's really, really nicely done from him, actually. Goes round his man. Gets through the middle absolutely superbly. Makes it 5. Wonderful. I mean, I'm going to look at substitutions just to rest a couple of players now. Kellyman's going to come on for... I'm actually going to take Watkins off. We'll put Zaniolo up front. Zaniolo can play... I mean, complete forward seems a bit funny, but alright, let's go with that. Amari Kellyman can come on there. Lucas Digne is tiring. We'll bring on Clement Longley. Can't really play there, but that's it. And that'll do for the substitutions. Well, it'll have to anyway. We'll bring on a young player and a senior player. Sure, why not? Right, goal kick from Burnley. Whipping it into the midfield. We win the ball though. Kellyman looking for Zaniolo. I mean, if there is a chance for him to get a hat-trick, it's now. So it'll be interesting to see whether he can do that. Right, Pau Torres heads it forward, but to no one. Beginning in a different position now. We don't actually have a playmaker on the pitch at the moment. But at this point, do we actually need one? Right, Court going for another goal. He's got another one, you know. And Emi Martinez again. We need to be asking questions about him. And I'm actually going to berate him for that. That's really, really poor from Emi Martinez. 2 sloppy goals conceded from one of the best goalkeepers in the world. But it's not going to change the result. We're going to win the game. It's 5-2. I'm very happy about that. But anyone who... I mean, there's probably not many of you, but anyone who was watching me when I first started on here, FM21 or FM22? FM22, I think it was. Or maybe right at the end of FM21. Anyone who was with me at that point when I first started, when I was streaming on Twitch, I was with Aston Villa, and my word, Martinez was awful for me, and I ended up chucking him out of the team and just getting rid. It's early doors. We won 5-2, but if we're going to get that, he's not going to last here very long. I don't care how good he is. He's not going to last here very long. 2 sloppy goals to concede. What a performance from Zaniolo, by the way. 2 sloppy goals to concede. But I mean, last match rating was a 6.9, so it wasn't terrible. I mean, pre-season wise, he had a very, very good time of it. I mean, if you have a look, didn't concede anything until a game against Anderlecht. Did concede 2 against Helzoin, though. That is worth pointing out. But then kept clean sheet against, well, not the best teams. Bruges, Leeds, Millwall, Huddersfield, Ludogorets. He kept some clean sheets there, but that was a bit of a concerning show from him. But we had already pretty much won the game. Right, well, the next game against Dynamo Minsk. And look at the squad we do not have. I mean, Chambers is going to be gone. Wilson's going to be gone. Bailey is going to be gone. This guy doesn't exist, really. I mean, we'll have Douglas Luiz back. So he's already... Well, he's not already in there, actually. Let's put him back in there. Traore's not going to be back. Ramsey, nowhere near back. Durant, nowhere near back. This is going to be a very, very tired 11 players. while we're waiting for the red injuries to come back and these ones to turn back into fully fit players as well. But you know what? For a start of the season, to start everything and be third, that's pretty good going. I'm pretty happy with that. Pretty happy with that indeed. I'm not very happy with Jack Cork getting 2 goals against us, but you know what? You can't have it all. Right, we will be back with you for, I don't really know. I'm going to play through my usual kind of period of August and September. We'll come back in October. There's bound to be a Europa Conference League game, so we'll pair up one of those with a league game. We might even come back for Manchester United, because that should be quite fun. That feels like a good plan. So, wish me luck on the deal to get Callum Chambers out the door, because that will give us some money, which we can hopefully spend on players. And wish me luck as well if we do end up getting Andrea Bellotti, because hopefully he can actually score a goal for the first time since the year of our Lord 2022. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Thank you very much for watching. Do not forget to leave a like on the video if you have enjoyed. And don't forget to subscribe. It's completely free to do so. And you will make me a very happy chap. I've been Stu. You guys have been awesome. And I'll see you next time. Cheers.